Hey everybody, we are going to start off with making our salmon pesto bowl, or if you're just watching this video, I'm going to do them individually as well. But this is our ginger quinoa. This is what we're going to start with. We're going to build from our ginger quinoa, bake some salmon, make some pesto, saute some veggies, and I'll show you this really yummy, nutrient-dense meal. But for now, we're going to start here. So I've measured my quinoa. You could use any color. You have white, you could use tricolor red. We have our water. What I really like to do as well is bone broth. So if you could do a chicken or a beef bone broth, I highly recommend it. This one we're just sticking with water just to get it simple. And then we got some olive oil here. For our spices, we have sea salt, ground ginger, ground garlic, and black pepper. Just throw that in. And these are just gonna be some yummy flavors that are gonna really marinate and go well with that salmon and the pesto here. So we're gonna put all that in, and then we're just gonna move it on over, and I'm gonna turn it on medium-high heat for about 20-ish minutes, and we'll check on that after we get going with our salmon. All right, this has been cooking while we cook the salmon and the pesto. So this ginger quinoa is all done, and I just wanna show you how easy that was. It just came out perfectly. So now we have our salmon done, our pesto done, and our quinoa done. I'm gonna go ahead and saute the veggies. It took about 15, 17, 18 minutes, something like that, on just bring it up to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, medium low, and I just let it hang out and sit and cook all those flavors together while I made everything else. Now we're gonna move on. I've got my quinoa started, and now I'm gonna go ahead and get my salmon in the oven. I'm gonna do something really basic, because again, we're gonna have that pesto. So I don't want to overpower the flavor of the salmon and it mess up the flavors in the bowl with that ginger quinoa and our pesto here. So I'm starting with some sea salt. You could do Himalayan salt and just kind of eyeballing it. I do have a recipe, so if you go back to my other YouTube channel or videos, there is a flaked salmon recipe where I go over all of this. From here, I was going to do that, but we'll go ahead and just do a little black pepper. You could do garlic. You could do onion powder, some dill would be good, and that's just if you're putting this on something that doesn't have that sauce we're gonna use. And then I normally use a lemon here, but I just have this lime laying around. So putting some drops on there, not trying to splash all of those seasonings off. You could always do this first if you wanted to. You could use apple cider vinegar, any vinegar, grapefruit, any citrus, but that just kind of helps get that fishy flavor gone, tenderizes the meat, and it just makes it taste so much more flavorful. So I have my oven preheated at 400 degrees. And those are a little bit thicker pieces, so I'm just gonna check that at about 13 minutes, and we just want it to be cooked through, and then we're gonna add that to our bowl. Hey everybody, I'm so excited to make you this pesto sauce. I have made this for years at my cafes, at my home. I love it so much. It's so nutrient dense. So I started off with some basil that I picked from my herb garden. And then with basil, you just pick it and you just want to take the leaves off. So it's about a 1/4 pound of basil here. And leave the stems. You could infuse it in an oil. You could make it in a stock. I give it to my chickens a lot, so that's really fun. And then my good friend who has a garden gave me this parsley, about 1/4 of a bunch, and I'm gonna rip off the bottoms, and I actually put the bottoms in it. You don't have to. Sometimes it makes it a little bit longer to blend just because of the stringiness. And then I always like to add in some microgreens. This isn't something I do at my cafe all the time, but I do it at home all the time. We actually grow our own sprouts here, so these are pea. I do broccoli a lot. You could do sunflower, but it's just so nutrient dense. It's just the best thing ever to put in your pesto that you're already trying to use. Sorry, I have something cooking. Turn that timer off. So we're gonna go ahead and continue here and add some garlic. So about 3 or 4 garlic cloves. If you really like garlic, you can always do more. Got our sea salt here. And then we'll go ahead and do the liquids first. We're gonna add our lemon juice. If you didn't have lemon juice, you could always do apple cider vinegar or any other citrus that you like. And then we have our olive oil. So I dump it in. Extra virgin olive oil is always the best if you're not cooking. You could do avocado oil if you wanted to. And I like to let that get all the way in there to the bottom so that the liquid's down there and it's gonna blend easier. And then I use pepitas instead of nuts. It's cheaper. It's got a lot of zinc, protein. It helps with anyone with any nut allergies. So we just love using pepitas. I'm gonna throw this on my blender. And we're gonna go ahead and just blend. It's that simple. So it looks so good already. I love the color of this pesto. I love that it's so healing for me and my family. It's so easy to make. So I'm just wiping down the sides. You could always give it a little taste here. And since this is just for me and my family, I think I'm gonna, and just make sure. Oh, so good. It's everything that you want here. Oh my gosh, it's so vibrant. Look at that green. Oh my goodness, let me just show you this. It's beautiful. So now that that's made, we'll go ahead and continue cooking and get everything else ready. All right, so my timer just went off for my salmon. Look at how perfect those turned out. And all I had to do is put them in the oven, season them a little bit, and now they're ready to go. So we're gonna put these aside, check on our quinoa, and then we're ready to saute our veggies. All right, I'm gonna show you guys how to saute all the veggies for this pesto bowl. So we've got our quinoa cooked, our salmon's done, our pesto's done. Now for the final little element to this bowl, we're going to saute veggies. So I'm gonna turn this on high. I'm gonna put some avocado oil in. You could use olive oil if you want. And then we are gonna start with our mushrooms. So you never wanna get mushrooms wet when you clean them. That'll make them really soggy and log down. You just wanna take a paper towel, if there's some mud or something, and I just kind of brush it off on the side. I'll clean up my kitchen after this. So I've already washed all the other veggies, but we're gonna start with our mushrooms. They're just gonna take a little bit longer to cook. So we wanna make sure we do this so that everything cooks at the end at the same time and is done at the same time. I love mushrooms. You could do lion's mane, you could do reishi, you could do oyster, really any mushroom that you like would go good in this bowl. And whenever you're cutting veggies, just make sure you always want to do bite-sized pieces. That's what I always told my employees at our cafe when I would train them. You never want to be on a date and be like shoving something in your mouth. So think about a bite that you would want to take if you were on a date with somebody. Got my mushrooms started. You can hear it sizzling here. And I'm just gonna sprinkle in just a little bit of sea salt. Mushrooms really absorb that flavor, and these take a few minutes to saute down. So I'm also just gonna use my spoon from the quinoa, because why make extra dishes? I don't wanna do extra dishes after this, so just gonna start to coat these in that oil. And mushrooms release a lot of liquid, so that's gonna be great when we start cooking all the other veggies in here. And while this cooks down, I'm gonna go ahead and start to cut up my broccoli and my green beans. So in the recipe, I actually have zucchini, and I bought zucchini yesterday, but the packaging it was in, I couldn't see that some of it had gotten really moldy. So we're gonna do green beans today instead, but when we put the green beans in would be the same time when you would put the zucchini in. So it's just fun to mix and match this up. Change up your veggies. You could do cauliflower instead of broccoli. Again, different mushrooms, different tomatoes, maybe collard greens instead of kale every once in a while, so then the bowl doesn't get boring for you. For broccoli, I like to cut the head off, and then again, I'm gonna cut this down to bite-sized pieces, but I actually love using the stem. I never wanna waste. slice it. And these are gonna take longer to cook, so they actually can go in with the mushrooms here. And I compost everything. If I'm ever making a stock, I'll just start throwing all of these scraps into my stock just to give it more nutrients and not waste anything. I'm really big on no waste. Our mushrooms are cooking down, but they are not flimsy. They're not all the way sauteed. Got that. So we're just gonna start to add in here my broccoli and my green beans. Hopefully it all fits in the pan because I love to just make it a huge amount of veggies because I love veggies. And then from here, I'm just gonna add in just a tiny bit of water. So I just use my tea kettle when I'm on my stovetop. And that's gonna help just really steam the broccoli and the green beans, or else it's gonna take a really long time to saute them. So again, just kind of going through here, coating this. You could add a little more sea salt if you wanted to right here. Get that going. And I'm just gonna top it with a lid right now just because it's gonna make it cook quicker. So that'll start sauteing. I have all of these beautiful tomatoes and kale. All of this came from Happy Food Farm. I had my kids go pick it just now while I was making the pesto. So we just washed this and I'm just gonna chop it up. Kale does not take long to cook, nor does tomatoes. And the tomatoes are really gonna just disintegrate and kind of turn into their skins if we cook them too long. So those I'm gonna wait till the very last part of this. We'll put them in and there actually won't even be any heat on when we do that, so that they can just warm through, but they still keep their texture and their shape. I wanted to check in here. This has been cooking for a minute with the lid on. These are getting a little more neon green, so you can tell they're starting to cook through. There's still a little bit of water left in the bottom of the pan, so I'm just gonna take my kale, put it on top, and that steam is just gonna help wilt that kale. I'm gonna throw that back on for about 1 to 3 more minutes, and then we'll turn it off, add our tomatoes, and we'll be done. It's been about a minute, minute and a half, really not that long, but I'm just gonna take this off and you can already see that this is green, it's pliable, it's not as stiff and firm as kale normally is. So that is looking really good. Let's just kind of stir everything in here. And this will let some of that moisture out too. There is a lot more moisture in the bottom. I probably added about, I don't know, 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of water. So if I wanted to just let this keep cooking, it would just take all that water out of there. Ooh, throwing things. Oh, so this looks absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness, check this out. It's so pretty. So this is the time where we're still pretty warm. There's barely any water left, so I'm just gonna throw my tomatoes in and watch this brightness with this red. I mean, it just gives it so much pop, so much color. I just love it so much. Look at that. Oh, it's like Christmas. So we'll just mix that in. I'm gonna turn my heat off. Beautiful. And then that's just gonna heat those through, and we have all of these beautiful colors. And like I said, if you don't like mushrooms, you could do sweet potatoes and do some water in the beginning and steam them so they get softer. They will take a little bit longer than other things. But again, just play with it. Eat Brussels sprouts with it. Butternut squash, really anything that you like, throw it in here. Those veggies are gonna have all the nutrients, minerals, vitamins that we're wanting for our body. And if it tastes good, then you're gonna eat more of it. So make sure you do that. Now that this is done, we have all of our components ready. So I'm gonna meet you back here and I'm gonna show you how I meal prep everything for the week. We are back and we have everything we need here. We have our veggies, our quinoa, pesto salmon. Literally took me less than 30 minutes to get all this done by doing it in that order. So always make sure when things are cooking that you don't have to mess with, whether it be in the oven, on the stovetop with the quinoa. That's when you want to be doing the other things. So I'm gonna meal prep 2 meals. This is definitely enough for 4 with all the salmon and veggies and pesto. I'm gonna be out of my house a lot tomorrow. I have a lot of work to do, events. So this is literally gonna be my lunch and dinner because I can eat the same thing 2 times in a row. But I just love this so much. You could freeze the quinoa and the pesto for up to 6 to 8 months in your freezer. So you could cook it off, freeze it, and then have it ready to meal prep when you want. There's our quinoa. I did quite a bit. And then I'm gonna do my veggies. Oh, just so beautiful and pretty. Oh, doesn't that just look yummy? Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. Yum. I'll get some more tomatoes in there if I can. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Okay, and then I'm just gonna grab half of each of these fillets of salmon and just put it right on top. Same with this guy. And just throw it right on top. If you like the skin, which I do, I'll crisp it up sometimes in the pan, or I'll just put it in and eat it. It has a lot of nutrients, so just something to think about. And then I'm a sauce lover, so I'm gonna do quite a bit of pesto on here. You do what's right for you. I'm just gonna put a big old dollop on there, all those nutrients and flavor. I mean, come on. This is amazing. Ah. So then I just wanna let this cool without a lid on in my fridge for up to an hour. We don't wanna put the lid on because then it's gonna start to make all of that moisture and steam come to the top, and it just kind of makes things get too soggy for me, and it continues to cook, which we don't want. So these are beautiful. These are our salmon bowls. Ah, so good. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna grab some veggies. And I'm just gonna mix it up because that's how I like to eat. I like everything coated. I want everything to have the same flavor. You could add different herbs to this. It already has that basil, parsley, the microgreens, and the sprouts. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want a little bit of salmon. I want a tomato on here. It is perfect. If you love pesto, make this recipe. It is so good on salmon, chicken, veggies, again, grains. You could do a pasta salad with it. Even on steak, it would be really, really good. This is so good. I hope you guys try it. I hope you like this. Thanks for watching, and I will be back.